Training camp is here. The Packers kicked off training camp the way we usually do, with the best tradition in sports, the American Family Dream Drive, where players ride bikes across Lombardi Avenue to the Hutson Center. As a kid, even if your bike didn't get chosen, just getting the opportunity to jog along or ride next to a Packer player on the bike was an outstanding experience. And it wasn't just a bunch of rookies and, back of the roster type guys. You saw Christian Watson, you saw Romeo Doubs, Devontae Wyatt, Elton Jenkins, Jair Alexander, Jordan Love. This is just such a great way to start camp. The players have a good time with it, the fans just absolutely adore it. And Jordan Love just gave this kid a memory that he is absolutely never going to forget. Even Coach LaFleur got on a bike and made the trek across Lombardi Avenue. Aaron Jones even made a little bit of time for some autographs on his way into the facility. As we see the guys take the field, I'll give you an update on 6 guys that didn't participate. We had Tariq Carpenter, Tarvarius Moore, and Caleb Jones all out with illnesses, Rashan Gary rehabbing his knee, Eric Stokes rehabbing his foot, and Grant DuBose out with a back injury. Here we get our first look at reigning USFL MVP quarterback Alex Magoo, who goes through a little bit of this net drill here as well. Fortunately, a little bit off target on it, but pretty damn close. But if you're looking at the quarterback position, most of the eyes are going to be on that guy right there. First-year starting quarterback Jordan Love. Per Andy Herman, Love had a little bit of an up and down day with probably a bit more downside to some of his play, but nothing that was really off. He just had a few missed balls here and there, but he seemed generally unfazed, keeping his chin up and just going on to the next play. One instance that Larry McCarron pointed out was a deep ball that he was targeting Romeo Doubs on, but the play was broken up at the last second by Jair Alexander in team drills. And immediately following, Love and Romeo Doubs had a bit of a, cerebral kind of connection, a non-verbal communication that they each knew exactly what was going on for the next play. Love started off the practice showing off a bit of his accuracy, hitting the net particularly well on some of these throws here, showing some of the vast improvement that he's made over the last couple seasons, in particular last year with quarterback coach Tom Clements. Some of those missed balls that I talked about a little bit earlier too might have been contributed to some of the crazy weather. If you see at the top left of the screen, you'll see that flag is really kind of flapping in the wind. It's a very windy day, and then eventually the weather cleared up and became sunny out there on the field. Jordan's improved accuracy is a very promising sign for the young quarterback. Another promising sign is that connection I referenced with Romeo Doubs earlier as well. And you see here a couple different angles of him making an early connection with Romeo Doubs on a quick out here. One of the areas Doubs in particular will be looking to improve this year is working against the press coverage, which you see a little bit lined up here. But we won't see much of that until pads come on in the next couple weeks. And here we've got a slow motion video of Jordan Love throwing a slant to Romeo Doubs, which Andy Herman also pointed out was a particular target of Jordan Love's in team drills was that slant route. A very comfortable route for him to throw to Romeo Doubs. Doubs working here with a dig route on a pass from Danny Etling as well. There's so much being made about the fact that the Packers pass catchers are so young, but I think they've got a good variety of skill sets in that receiver room that Christian Watson and Samari Toure can take the top off of defenses. Romeo Doubs can even do a little bit of that, but he's also that more versatile, everything receiver. And then Jaden Reed, who we see here, is going to be a quick, dynamic slot guy. And, some other guys are going to fill into those spots as well, like Dontavion Wicks is a very interesting prospect here. I think he plays faster than he actually tested, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of role he can carve out on this roster. And then Malik Heath here is one of my guys that I think is really going to try to capture that final receiver spot on this roster. And then at tight end, with guys like Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave, I'm curious to see if that means that we're going to see more 12 personnel packages. and the Packers ran some of the most in the NFL last year, or if because, we don't have a dynamic blocker like a Mercedes Lewis, if that means we're going to draw back a little bit. Here we see Tyler Goodson, working on a one-cut kind of running back drill here. And I'm curious, is this the year that he's finally going to make the 53? I think he's got a good chance. But moving over towards the defensive side of the ball, we got to see a little bit of Rashan Gary, and he looks pretty nimble and quick right now. I mean, that leg sleeve on his right leg, it kind of disguises a little bit, but I think you can see the size difference there, and he's got a bit of work to do yet to come back to be full strength, but it's really promising, the quickness and the agility that he shows in this drill here. And the Packers are going to need him to come back. But in the meantime, this young cat right here, Lucas Van Ness, is going to hopefully step up and fill some of those roles. By no means do I expect him to perform at a Rashan Gary level. I think it'll be much like Rashan Gary's rookie year, where he shows some flashes here and there, but is limited a little bit with some growing pains as well. But you look at the kid, and he is a dynamic, athletic freak. And then moving on to safety, one of my biggest position battles that I'm looking at here. Darnell Savage seems to have one of those positions locked up. Jonathan Owens is another guy that might move in and try to swoop in and take a spot there at starting. But to start off the team drills in this practice, Savage and Rudy Ford were the two that were back there. Two guys that played a lot of safety for the Packers last year. And with Tarvarius more out with an illness, that gives guys like Jonathan Owens and Anthony Johnson Jr. more reps to show Kevin Williams and Joe Barry, what they can bring to the table at that starting safety position. And position battles is one of my 5 things to look for, and you should check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. Well, that wraps up day 1 of training camp. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you stick around and you get the latest on the camp battles, any injuries that may pop up, or any just breaking news along the way. We'll get you ready for the regular season.